All right, the guys at ESPN have made their college football playoff predictions, and a couple of them have made national championship predictions. I'm going to start with Desmond Howard, who went with his Final Four being Pittsburgh, Baylor, Michigan, and Texas A&M. And Desmond Howard has picked Texas A&M to win the national championship. So that's Texas A&M. So we're going to go with some other guys. David Pollock, I did not hear him pick a national champion. His playoff, I don't think, is crazy at all. He had Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, and Utah. I believe he said that Alabama and Ohio State would play for the national championship. Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit have very similar playoffs. Lee had Alabama playing Utah, Ohio State playing Georgia, Alabama and Ohio State playing for the national championship, with Ohio State winning the national championship. Kirk Herbstreit had Alabama. He didn't give an order. He had Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, and Baylor, which I think means Alabama plays Baylor and Georgia plays Ohio State, but he was not real. That was not obvious. But he had Alabama and Ohio State playing for the national championship, with Ohio State winning the national championship. So David Pollock, Kirk Herbstreit, and Lee Corso all had Alabama playing Ohio State for the national championship, which will this second would be what I would say. I would love to watch the first week, but we don't get to do that. But I would mimic Lee Corso's, and I'm not so angry about Kirk Herbstreit's. I think the two teams that are borderline on this thing are both Utah and Baylor, and I think the third is Clemson. But we got to see with Clemson, like, there are landmines for all these teams. I mean, I think Ohio State has the fewest amount of landmines, generally speaking. I don't know what in the world Desmond Howard's talking about. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. I need a better understanding of the explanation as to why you would pick Michigan to play Texas A&M in the national championship game. I want to know, Desmond, if you're watching this, the folks at ESPN know how to contact me. I would love for you to come on here. I'm not even hating right now. I want to know why. I want to know the explanation as to picking Texas A&M specifically to win the national championship. I'm a little bit. I do not understand this playoff. Baylor, I don't hate. I mean, Pittsburgh. Um, I will give you Pittsburgh. You know what? I will give you Michigan. I will give you Michigan. I will give you that they will beat Ohio State, maybe have a loss somewhere, some weird loss. And I will give you Michigan winning the Big Ten. I will give you Baylor because they'll just have some strange one loss, and they will get into the college football playoff by, I guess, winning the Big 12 over Oklahoma or Texas or somebody with, the Big 12 is going to be an entertaining league. But you're pushing it now. Like, I'm trying, man. Like, I'm like Jules from from right now. I am definitely Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. I'm trying to get where you're at. So I'm going to talk myself through Pittsburgh getting to the playoff with a new quarterback. We can handle that. A new offensive coordinator, and and beating. I mean, and beating Clemson to get there. I'm not saying Pittsburgh won't win the ACC, although I probably am saying that. I'm saying they're not going to get to the playoff. I do not understand Texas A&M being in the playoff in any way. I mean, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not angry right now. I'm trying to understand where we're heading. I mean, I just don't. I am like I would like one of these kind of I'd be like, okay, Michigan or all right, Baylor, okay. And if you threw Pittsburgh in there, I mean David Pollock's the only guy that's got Clemson in his playoff. He essentially has Clemson in place of Georgia, is or well, or in place of Texas A&M. But David is the only one. Well, David and Des, neither of them think the SEC will get two teams in, which is fine. But and I think a lot of completely intelligent people have Clemson in the playoff. I think we're gonna have to see. The proof, the pudding needs to be made, right? Hey, make sure you're picking up DAWGSTRUCTION. The link is down below. A lot of people are watching this for the first time. It is our look at Georgia's national championship season, hardcover, 80 pages. If you've not seen this yet, the forward is from Jeff Foxworthy. We've got images you simply will not get anywhere else of guys doing things. There's Lee Corso right there. Look at that image from Ryan Curley. This is a shot of Georgia in the breakthrough moment against the Arkansas Razorbacks during that noon game. That was quite a moment for Dan Jackson and company, James Cook, Stetson, Kirby, Lab McConkey. All the gang is all here. And you do not want to miss some of these images are epic. You will not find them elsewhere, period. They are not, and the storytelling is not bad either if I say so myself. So here we are with this book. You're going to want to, if you do not have this and you're a Georgia fan, you need to check it out down below because it is something you do not want to miss out on. This is an outstanding book. Again, I thank Jeff Foxworthy for doing the forward was very touching from Jeff. Kirk and Lee are doing what I would do. They are taking the chalk. They are saying, okay, teams 1 through 3, the ones that seem like the guys who are going to be there, they're going to be there. The team that's most in danger here is probably Georgia. I mean, they're the 3, right? And the team that's number 2 is Alabama. It would be in theory be left out, but I think right now, man, Alabama certainly and Georgia probably have built up so much goodwill over the last couple of years. I mean, Alabama and Georgia have combined in the last 2 seasons. This is off the top of my head. Have combined to lose 5 games. And those 5 games, 3 of the losses were to each other. So the only teams that have beaten those 2 in the last 2 seasons of college football are the 2020 Florida Gators and and then Texas A&M in 2021. So that's it. So maybe Dez is onto something, right? No, he's not. I mean, the problem with Texas A&M is that we're picking them in 22. That's the concern. Um, I can't. I don't want to like run over Texas A&M. Texas A&M is just a cherry on top of what is the most curious 4-team pick. Now, a year ago, I screenshotted it, and I will be looking as I talk because this day a year ago was just to me. I don't get a lot of days like this where I get to sit, there is no Georgia game and I watch from start to finish and I listen to what people say. But a season ago, I was watching and was dumbfounded by some of the things that we saw on TV. I mean, it was just crazy. I think someone picked Iowa State and North Carolina to be in the playoff. And you're like, hey, look, we have to take our audience a little more seriously than this because they deserve better. There's no way Iowa State was going to the playoff a year ago. And when I say no way, I mean no way. North Carolina, I mean, I just don't, I just don't, after a while, have an explanation of what some folks that do what I do for a living. It's hard to defend what I see sometimes on TV because it just doesn't make sense. And I'm not specifically talking about ESPN because I think that one was Fox. I think it was Brady Quinn or someone on the Fox crew. So this is not exclusively Disney hate. I like where Kirk and Lee are. I think these are reasonable. I think it's completely I mean, I'm surprised nobody picked Alabama to win a national championship, to be honest, and maybe David was. But like Des doesn't have Alabama, Georgia, or Ohio State in his playoff. Like, I wouldn't bet my house that one of the three of those make it because I'd be a little bit nervous about my house. It's not that great of a house, but if even then, you wouldn't want to move. But damn, I bet a lot that one of those three makes it in. Like one of them. I like the Utah thing, but the Utes have got to prove it. I mean, the game with the Gators right away, that's an important one. I think they should win that game. Our friends at FanDuel, I think, have them. I don't want to. I don't want to say it, and it's not accurate here, but that is a tight line there as well. They are a 2.5 point favorite at Florida, which means they are clearly the better team. Um, they should win that game. And then from that point forward, if you're Utah, there are losable games, but there's not so many that you can't escape it. I mean, particularly they get a running start because they've got Florida and then Southern Utah, San Diego State, which is a late game, and then they get into the Pac-12, which is Arizona State. They host Oregon State, which I think is better. They go to the Rose Bowl for UCLA, and then they have the back-to-back with UCLA and USC, but they host USC. So I think they can get like a running start at this thing. And then the end is a little bit complicated because you've got SC in your last 6 games, you've got SC, Stanford, and then Oregon on the road to Oregon. That game right there could determine who is in position on championship weekend to go. But Utah has got a crack at it to be a one-loss team and kind of hang out. But I don't understand Desmond here. And I don't want to pick on people all the time, but as David Pollock said, I'm not that brave. I'm not that brave at all. No doubt about it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the site.